Alright, and welcome back to Roster Mania in Rocket League, somewhat. In my last video I talked about how Jordan leaves Torrent, Tristan leaves E United, and that roster moves won't happen soon. Well, was I wrong? So the day after I say that and put that out in a video, Shopify Rebellion comes out and says that they're parting ways with Rapid. And then shortly after that, they put out a post saying that they've signed Jordan from Torrent. So then Torrent, from what it looks like, is now using Magic Bear, Kinsey, and Dapper, who is their sub. Now, in my opinion, that is a big downgrade. They're not... I mean, they're still good, but replacing Jordan with their sub is probably not going to help them. And they'll probably need to find another third who is better or about the same as Jordan if they want to compete. I'm not saying anything about Dapper, but he hasn't played as a main third or as a main one of the three starting in a roster for a while. This is going to make it tougher for them to make regionals. In the winter split, they made 2 out of the 3 regionals, the first and third. They finished 13th to 16th and 7th to 8th, which is not very good. The new Shopify Rebellion team is now Memory, Parth, and Jordan. I want to say Rapid is better than Jordan, but the chemistry that they have with this team could make it better. I saw a post saying that Jordan is in Canada, which is near where the other 2 players are, where the headquarters are, or something like that, so it made sense for them. I would say Rapid's slightly better than Jordan. But that doesn't mean anything if Rapid wasn't meshing well with the team. Just like in recent regionals, this is a team that can make some upsets. They can upset some teams. They've done it before in the other regionals. I expect them to only become better with this change. I don't know if Jordan is the answer, but I feel like he will in the long run help them out. In the winter split, they made all 3 regionals going 7th through 8th, which is good for them, who barely made any of the fall regionals. 9th through 12th, and then a 13th through 16, which they were in a Group A with version 1 randoms and NRG, I believe. So they went downhill over the split, but I feel like they will bounce back here. Shortly after Rapid was announced he was leaving or parting ways with Shopify Rebellion, Xset puts out a post saying that Rapid has joined them. This new roster is JPow, Percy, and Rapid. So this would make Hoxer going from the starting position, and he moved to an inactive roster. This team has very strong potential. They could be the oxygen of how Oxygen was during the winter split. They could be the Oxygen of the spring split, because this could be a deadly team with JPow, Percy, and Rapid. Percy is incredible. Rapid, he's going to be strong. JPow, again, that team is going to be fast and mechanical, and they could be annoying. They could win some games that they would not be expected to win. Money from SUP, who was the RBG Esports team, he went to E United. So now the new SUP is Expert, Zaniel, and Asfira, who is their sub. They're still a bubble team that struggle to make regionals every time. With this change, I think it's going to be harder. I don't know much about this team in general, because they barely are ever in the regionals. But in the winter split, they made the first regional and finished 9th through 12th. And they beat Xset in that group. But I don't think this is going to help them in any way. The new E United team is Ajax, Savi, and Money. I think this is a downgrade, but the chemistry that they have together could make it an upgrade, even though Ajax and Tristan played in the CRL against each other. I would say that Tristan is better mechanically, but then again, I don't know Money that well. I hate to say it, but this is this team has low expectations from a decent org. Like, they have good teams in other esports, but just I guess they don't. I don't know. Rocket League's weird for them, I guess. They didn't even make any regionals in their winter split, so they can only go up, right? With all these teams changed, there's an event that finished up over this weekend. It's called the AAA Challenger Series Super Event 1. In the Swiss stage, XSET goes 3-0 against teams they should all be beating in Flashes of Brilliance, Torrent, and NXT, which Torrent is kind of iffy there. It's good for a team that's trying to make constantly trying to make regionals. Shopify Rebellion go 3-1 with their one loss coming from NXT. Again, they beat all the teams that they beat. They should easily beat. NXT would be like their hardest competition, so I'll give them benefit of the doubt there. Sup went 3-1, and they lost to Sonics, who is a constant RLCS team. And they beat NXT as well. The other two teams they should definitely beat, but they're using, instead of using Asfura as their sub as their third, they're using a new guy named Drew, I believe it's pronounced, which is promising. It looks promising from these results. Torrent go 3-2. They lose to Exit and Ghost, who are two teams that they should probably be beating or competing stronger against, but I believe they got swept by both of them. Yes, they did. They got swept by both of them, and they finished the game differential of 9-8, which isn't very good. I mean, I get that this is not the RLCS, so they're not necessarily trying as hard. I mean, they're still trying to win, of course, but RLCS is completely different. But it's still a tournament that they want to win for money and stuff like that. But Torrent is not looking good, and I hate to say that because I really want to like Torrent. I really want them to do well, but it doesn't look like it will happen anytime soon. For the playoffs, Shopify Rebellion lose in 7 to Sup in round 1. I don't believe this is against Shopify Rebellion. I think it's more that Sup was doing really good in this tournament. And I mean, they went to 7, so it was a good fight. Sup end up going to 7 and losing to Oxygen, which is quite impressive because Oxygen was I believe they were the 6th team for the split. So going to 7 against Oxygen as a bubble team with a new guy as Drew or something, that's pretty impressive. I believe they have they might have a successful future, and especially if they find an org to represent them. XSET beat NXT in 7, which is probably a little too close, but both teams are constantly in battle for regional spots. And then they lose to E United in 7 in round 2. I think that XSET should usually be beating them, but obviously it's not going to happen every time. And XSET is still growing with Rapid. E United then end up losing in 5 to Oxygen in the semifinals, which Oxygen is the better team. They're going to win. They also lose to a Crew, or former Vibrance, for the 3rd place match, which I get that. To me, that says that when they play against the probably, I'm going to say like 9 through 24 area teams, E United can beat them. And they will. But when it comes to like the top 12 teams, they'll struggle against the guys at the end and always lose to guys at top. And Ghost was using Hoxer from XSET, and they ended up winning over Oxygen, which is a pretty big deal. Oxygen's a good team, and for Ghost, who is struggling to use Hoxer over Roldiz, might be a new step into Ghost becoming a better team. And that's all for North America. In EU, Tho and Ollie from Heroic, who both formerly played for Heroic, who are not on the team currently, obviously, and Mike Boy from Rix have created a team for the spring split, and they're looking for an org. 2 of the 3 Semper team players, Chauset and Casio, signed up for a tournament with Yukis instead of Archie. Take this with a grain of salt. Archie could be unavailable, or it could be a roster change. We don't really know. Now here is a picture of Tristan with posters of the SSG team. And now this could mean that Tristan goes to the sub for Space Station. Maybe. I did not see him do it for any other teams. Maybe he did. But maybe he goes to the third. Who knows? Space Station doesn't have a third. I don't think he'll go as a sub to a team. But maybe he'll be happy to be a part of a winning team instead of on U United. Who knows? I don't think that means anything, but I'm just throwing it out there. And with that, that's all the roster news I have for you now. When more things get announced, I'm not going to go over rumors. I don't like the idea of that. But, because rumors get your hopes up, and then they change. So, yeah, with that, I'll make a new video whenever I see more roster changes. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if anything else happens, and I'll see you in the next one.